Hello, and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more information I've received from a 25th dimension during my last BQH hypnosis session. I am going to be reading from a transcript of questions I prepared in advance of the session that Lorrayne, who's my practitioner, is asking me through the session. And when I instead speak about me, I'm referring to myself under hypnosis, which means that the answers are coming from a 25th. Today's video is going to be centered on one section of each session that I have that I label as personal questions, meaning that they're not questions related to behind the scenes or New Earth or anything of that kind. However, as you know by now, if you've watched any of these other sessions, I will only share something if it has universal value. So I often, on purpose, ask questions that are more of a personal nature, because I know that somebody in the group or one of you might have commented that you're going through something. And if I notice, I'm like, oh, I'm also going through something similar. I'm like, something is going on. And that's why I asked the 21st, and they never fail to confirm that we're all going through very similar things. So again, the question might seem of a very personal nature, in the sense that obviously refer to things, to details that have happened to me specifically, but the answer is always involved in more than just me. All right, so let's jump in. Lorrayne. Okay, Clea says she's not been able to close these two real estate deals, even though you said they would close. You've been wrong on this, just like you've been wrong about having someone give her money for the assisted living home project that I was working on 3 years ago, right before the pandemic started. So now she needs to make money. Are there any good news you can give her without being wrong? She was promised no more low vibe stuff while she's here, but she's experienced more than usual. Can you please address? Now, I want you to know this. I realize it's a very demanding question. It's a very low vibe question in some ways, but I do this on purpose because I do challenge the 25th. And I do like to confirm at a 3D level, a very usual visual level, if what they are saying that's going to happen is going to happen. And so this is why sometimes I bring up stuff from my life to see, okay, you're telling me these things, but let me track. And they've been right about a lot of things, so just so you know. But of course, the one that we might be off on, I will definitely bring it up and rub it in their face. So I hope you appreciate this, because I do this for you, not just for me. All right, me. Yeah, so she wants to, we said this before, she wants to resume doing, focusing on anything she wanted to focus on. She can do that, and it will keep her occupied. These things will make her feel better. But again, we already said there will start being talk about evaluation, etc. So eventually, if we stayed here, none of us would really need to work anymore. But we're not going to live through that. It is unlikely that we will decide, or you will decide, to stay here that much longer after this thing gets recalled. And again, that's really up to you. But right now, it looks very unlikely. It doesn't seem like there's anything else you're setting up for yourself after that. I mean, yes, we understand that she's experiencing all of this as being very stressful. She's also upset because she's thinking, if I close these deals, I could be more relaxed. I wouldn't need to work all the time like I do. I would also be able to spend more time with my daughter. I would be more relaxed about 3D life. But the fact is, this is her choice. She's in resistance. And again, she's in resistance because she doesn't want to be here. Has nothing to do with any of these things. She's in resistance over her 3D life because she does not want to be here. She wants to be on the earth. So she gets despondent. For example, when she has to do the dishes, because she's thinking, on your earth, I don't have to do the dishes. I don't even have to eat. What kind of waste of time is this? This is so pathetic. This is so low vibe. And she's correct. That we're laughing. I'm glad that they at least find this humorous. And we understand this, but at the same time, she also thinks that this is because, there's some sort of financial crisis happening where there isn't. She's okay. She will be okay. She's just really tired of being here. And we completely understand this. So we're trying to say that her attitude towards all of this is really being colored by the fact that she's fighting the fact that she's decided to stay behind, that she's still here, while she understands that it's important to stay here. Lorrayne. Thank you. Okay. So Clea says she feels like a has-been, like her best days are behind her. She's honored to connect with the 25th, yet she can't help but feel like she failed in 3D and has very little to show for what she's done. She even had a dream in which she was adopted by a princely family and was educated along their son, who was her same age, 8 or 9 years old. She excelled at everything, much more than their son, but knew that eventually he would go on to have a wonderful life while she would be left to her own devices. Why is she feeling this way? What does she have to clear or understand? She's feeling envious of some of her friends who have easy lives, but they're NPCs. She's never been envious of anyone. What is going on with her? She doesn't want to stay here for many more years. She's cranky and irritable. She wishes she could be more lighthearted. She doesn't find humor in life anymore. She wants to be able to focus on building something in her business, which is a wonderful distraction in 3D. She wants to know what her higher self has in mind. She wants to know why she's blocked. Please answer. And just as an explanation here, the meaning behind this is, first of all, I was having a bad day, and truthfully, in general, I don't feel like that and all the time. And I definitely don't feel like that since they've given me these explanations. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, because when you put stuff in perspective, it does make sense what we're going through. And also because the background to this is that the past 3 years, because of the pandemic, I think a lot of us have been affected. Real estate has definitely been affected around here. So I feel like things are just not working the way they were for me anymore. And I'm like, okay, I feel like a has-been in that sense. Like, what's happening? I used to be like clockwork on these deals and everything that I've always wanted to do, and all of a sudden stuff has changed. I'm like, what's happening here? So the answer blew me away. And so here we go. Me. Yeah. So first of all, we've been talking about the fact that Clea's doing a life review. Now, where are we doing a life review? You mentioned you're doing one too, Lorrayne. Many people are doing this. Why are we doing a life review? Because it's over. We're at the end of our life. If you want to think of it in normal human terms, as if you were about to die and your life runs in front of you, you know, in 60 seconds, you see your entire life. We're doing it in an extended way over weeks and months, but that's what we're doing. We're done here. We're moving on. So it's almost like passing away in a sense, even though you're not. And so what has been, has been. That's why she feels like a has been, because what we've done, we've done. We're not going to accomplish anything more really of note in 3D anymore, because there's no more 3D to play with, really. We are holding this up. This has always been a holographic reality, but there were enough of us before where at least it was fun to play here, but now it's an empty game. It's almost like playing a game with like 3 characters in it, or a movie with 3 people in it. I mean, how boring. So we're not going to build anything more over here. So in this case, yeah, that's why she feels like what has been done is done, and now there's nothing more that can be accomplished. And so she thinks of it in terms of confidence, but it's not really about confidence. It's the fact that she knows that just the energy is not there to support. She is not going to support a lot of 3D stuff. So even starting a business or doing a lot of work within 3D reality with the idea of building something, that's just not what we're doing. We're not building anything here anymore. So these NPC friends she's referring to, she's not envious of them in terms of, in the sense of saying, oh, I wish they didn't have what they have. Not at all. What she's saying is that she's never actually looked at somebody else and said, I wish I had what they have, because she's always called her shots. She's always done what she wanted to do. But now she sees herself and she sees the arc of her life and says, wow, this is it. But the reason she's saying this is it, she's thinking that it's from a 3D perspective in terms of there's nothing more I could look forward to. But the fact is, there's really nothing more to look forward to here. The only thing we're waiting for, and again, begrudgingly, because we're very much begrudging the fact that we're doing this, is the recall of this thing. There's nothing else to look forward to here. Everything else is just whatever, nonsense. That's why she's cranky. That's why she's so irritable. That's why she's so annoyed. Because again, we go back to the analogy of having to stay an hour longer at the office. You already had a long day, and you know there's a party at home. They're waiting for you, and people are having fun, and you're stuck at the office for another hour. Now, it might just be an hour, and you're telling yourself, it's fine. If I focus, I'm going to get this done, and I'll go home, and it won't matter that I stayed an hour longer. Everything is good. I'll feel better about myself, and then I can actually enjoy the festivities. But meanwhile, in this 1 hour, You're really like, I'm not going to waste my time laughing or checking out memes or checking jokes. If you're staying an extra hour at the office, you want to get stuff done. You're not really lighthearted. You're like, oh God, I'm still here. It's fine. Let me focus. Let me finish this. And so that's what's happening. So there really isn't a lot, unless you're focused on the new earth. There's really emotionally not a lot of happiness, to be had out of here at this point. Of course, it helps that she has her daughter around, the kitties, her boyfriend. They do make her laugh every once in a while, and they are very much more lighthearted than she is. But she is tired, very, very tired, just like you are, Lorrayne, just like many people are. And it's okay to be a little cranky. They were laughing. Being here, because we've done what we needed to do. Why are we still here, right? And so that's what's happening. She feels bad. She was even feeling hesitant about writing these questions down because she feels like she's whining. But the fact is, it is okay to not be happy with the fact that we've been in this situation. We said it before. While the takedown is the end goal and what we've been working on forever, we're not happy about it. We don't want to go through this. And even now, imagine there are people that are saying we want disclosure or whatnot. They're saying that, but it's not really true. They don't want it. We don't want it. Imagine, as easy as life is still right now, despite all the inconveniences, despite all the annoyances, despite even all the pain that some of us are going through, is nothing compared to what it would be if we heard about the pedal and files. I cannot say that word. So pedal and files, or whatever has been happening here. We would not be able to handle it. We are barely able to handle the heartburn. Like, why do I still have heartburn? This is unbelievable. Enough of this. And I know you can relate, Lorrayne. We're tired. We're just tired of doing these low vibrational things all the time. And so that's why she's cranky. It's not that there's anything wrong with her. She's actually just tired. She's sick and tired. She's like, okay, can we just focus on this one thing and get it done? Now, that said, of course, again, her daughter is very funny. She loves her. She loves the kitties. She still has a lot of good things in her life. That's why she feels ungrateful when she feels like she's whining, when she's saying these things. But these are no jokes, because we're not just dealing with even just this lifetime. We're dealing with many lifetimes. Claire's had many, many lifetimes here, and she's been dealing with a lot of stuff, just like many, many people are going to get this message. So even this dream she had, very much so, what she's seeing is she's comparing herself to people in the system, because a princely family, if that's not the system, what is? But she's made different choices. She's had the exposure to everything she's wanted to, but in her path is different. She's going to New Earth. She's not going to 3D. This princely family, unless they're part of the dark, is very 3D, would have gone to a 3D chamber. And in fact, Lorrayne, you and Claire were joking about this, saying, had we known that we would have had to stay behind, we would have chosen to go with the aliens or to a 3D chamber. We'd already be having a great time. And that's exactly right. You're here thinking, why in the world did I choose door number 3? That's what it is, right? And so while we know that what's behind door number 3 is wonderful, the door is still closed, it's still locked. And so that's the problem. That's what Claire is dealing with. This is part of her life review. She even last night had a dream where she went back to the MBA and saw everything that's happened since then. And now she had all these opportunities, all this potential. And in her mind, she wasted it. She made mistakes because she didn't have the confidence, or she didn't do certain things. In reality, she's had a wonderful life. Everything has happened the way her higher self wanted to experience. And the thing is, her higher self has freed her from all the 3D stuff so she could do this work and she could get to do these things. Now we understand that because of this, she's a little bit stressed in terms of comparing herself to her old self, older reality. But that old reality really doesn't exist for anybody. She's looking at her NPC friends, but really they're empty, they're shells. They're not really living like that. I mean, the essences are gone. The essences are happy. That's a fact. But I mean, these people, these shells again, these NPCs are just living in whatever holographic reality. And she's going to be fine. Nothing bad is going to happen to her. She doesn't need to be thinking, oh, that's what I want too. Because it's really not. It wouldn't work for her the same way. And I have to say, I was so glad I asked this question. One, because I know, as always, I'm not the only one going through these things, especially when it comes to life reviews. We do tend to look to the past and say, wow, things are not as good right now. I specifically used to have a very fun, exciting lifestyle. And the past 3 years, even though lockdowns have not been nearly as bad here as they've been in other places, I've been cramped in my lifestyle in many ways. Not only my business has suffered, but also I couldn't go to Italy every year. So I hadn't seen my family in 3 years before I went to visit them earlier this summer. There's a lot of things where each one of us has had to sacrifice. And I'm not here trying to make my life sound awful. There are people that truly suffer during these lockdowns and what's happened. But at the same time, I'm here saying, my goodness, I have nothing to look forward to. So I wanted to share this with you. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel vindicated to know that I'm not just here whining and trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. There is much more going on emotionally behind the surface, which again, I know because I get dreams about what's going on all the time, but I'm glad the 25th confirmed. And again, I know many of you are going through similar things, so hopefully this is of help. Lorrayne. And if we have to stay here years on end, I'm taking door number 4. I'm going back to the 25th. Me, laughing, because they were laughing. Yeah, Clea's had these thoughts where she says, if we're going to stay here for 50 years, I don't think I'm going to make it. And the truth is, she doesn't know. Something, from a conscious perspective, might die inside. She's not saying she would kill herself or anything, but it's similar to what you're saying, which is we don't want to be here that much longer. We would have not agreed to be here that much longer if we thought it was going to be another 50 years or even 10 years. We would not make it. We are upset about this. Lorrayne, even a year, I'm dying. Me, yes, we're upset about this. We are beyond exhausted, and this has to make sense for us. Now, right now, it does make sense for us. Our higher selves are okay with this because it's like a no-brainer. You're just staying again. You're just staying an extra hour. You've been here all day working, and you're just staying an extra hour. But if I said to you, okay, you're all going to pull an all-nighter, I mean, that's a whole different story, right? Lorrayne, okay. Tommy, and Tommy is my cat. If you watch any of my videos, he likes to crash a few of my videos here and there. He likes to show up and say hi. He's been sneezing a lot and his eyes weeping with lots of drainage. Claire would like to know if Tommy will get better and if there's anything she can do to assist. And again, when I ask these questions, I never know what the 25th is going to say. I was blown away by how they connected what's happening with him to everything that's been going on. So that's why I'm sharing this. Me. We just reminded Claire that she could stop the situation. She just has to intend it. And if Tommy's essence is open to it, which she would be, because Tommy, the reason he's doing this is because he's very much in tune with Claire's essence. And so, yes, so Tommy's clearing for Claire and clearing for, of course, he's his own essence. And he's also dealing with the same thing we're all dealing with, the resistance and all of that. But yeah, this can easily be cleared just by intending that it be done with. And by the way, guys, I intended this as soon as they reminded me, and it worked immediately. The drainage, he had been having this issue for a couple of weeks, went away like that. Not even overnight, like immediately. I just never saw it again. It was incredible. There's no need for Tommy to carry, at a 3D level, so much of what's happening. At the end of the day, yes, we're cranky. Yes, we're upset that we have to stay behind while everybody else is already having a party. Yes to all of that. Yes, we're tired. But the fact is, we're also okay here. In the great scheme of things, we're okay. And so let's just, be okay with that. Be okay with the fact that things could be a lot worse, and they aren't. And we just get through this, and we get it done, and we move on. So we don't have to add to our own suffering by putting up so much resistance. And this is what's happened. And you guys have also confirmed this through your muscle testing session, that a lot of the inconveniences or negative low vibrational things we've experienced in the last couple of months have come because of our resistance. And I will link either above here or in the description box below or both places this muscle testing video because it was super powerful, I thought. And so if you want to check it out, if you haven't seen it yet, I think it would be value added. Okay, back to the answer here. So we would suggest that yes, you're aware that you don't want to be here. That's perfectly fair. But at the same time, come to terms with it and be at peace, because all you're doing by putting up this resistance, you're just making your life at a 3D level harder, because then you come up with distractions. You come up with things to make time go by. And what's the easiest way to do that is to create inconveniences for yourself. Just like this car accident situation that Claire is dealing with, and one thing after the other, so time goes by. Wouldn't you rather have time to go by in a pleasurable manner? This does not have to be unpleasant while you're here. Now, unfortunately, some people are already dealing with difficult situations like chronic diseases. And this is really unfortunate. We really are sorry about these situations. And again, the higher self is not really necessarily interested in changing a lot of this before we leave, because again, since we are here against our will, we're not here against our will. This is our will to be here, but against our instinct to say, let's just leave as soon as possible. It's an easy way to react to that by saying, hey, let me distract myself. I'm just going to be in pain. But it's not fun. We don't have to do these low vibrational things anymore. So we would recommend that you work on your resistance. You work on accepting the fact that you are here by your own choice. You're an ascended master and you know what you're doing. So whenever you see these snags happen at a 3D level, it's really because look at what you're focusing on and what you're resisting. And just to tell you, I've done this work after, again, they mentioned it in the session, and it really has made a huge difference for me. And so I hope it makes a difference for you as well to focus on however resistance might be showing up for you in your life, and somehow maybe connect with the emotion underneath it and be able to clear it. Remember that at the end of the day, it's about our intention. So being aware of something, consciously aware of something, can help us refocus our intention. All right, Clea has been resisting all kinds of things, including doing the dishes, including doing laundry, including cleaning the house, because every time she does it, she goes, why do I still have to do this? Well, you know what? You're here right now. Just do it and enjoy. She used to enjoy it, so what has changed now? And it's true. It's very, very true. I had a couple of days when I was like, this is all stupid. Why do I have to do all these things? But at the same time, I have never minded doing these things. So all of a sudden now I'm just having this bad attitude, and I'm calling it bad attitude. There's a reason for it. It's not like I'm crazy. We're not crazy when we're complaining about this reality, okay? I want to say that loud and clear. We sometimes feel like we have no right to even complain or to feel irritable or cranky or whatever it is, but we've gone through a lot. So that's why I'm glad that I asked this question and that I got this answer. And I really do truly hope this helps you. All right, so there is one last message here. And normally we get last messages at the end of a session. In this case, we had already been doing this for 5 hours, so we didn't have time to get last messages for multiple groups, but we did ask for a last message for the 12,000, and here it is. So the 25th. Yes, so we will say the 12,000, hang in there, because you know what you're doing. This is not by chance. This is actually a gift. You had no idea you would learn this. Of course, we've all learned so much from just a takedown alone. This really is like a bonus. We had no idea. We, of course, were hoping that we'd never have to take down another planet again, but we didn't know. We knew it could happen, but you've just been given a code. You've just been given a clue. You've just been given a lesson for a way to ensure, if that's even possible, that this will for sure never happen again. Because what you're learning right now is how to basically percolate your higher self knowledge into the conscious awareness without even being on your Earth. We are here, lonely 3D planet, very dense planet. The things you are doing are incredible. And the multiverse, we'll talk about it forever. But it's not about that. It's the fact that it will be such a huge game changer that this is completely worth it. And so remember that there is a reason. And this reason is more than worthwhile. You would do it again. You would do it again in a heartbeat if you were given the choice to stay here for a few more months to learn what you're learning right now. So embrace it. Thank you so much for watching this video. This wraps up the last session, and I will be releasing a new session soon. And thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.